Hello there everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of my quick tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress. Today we are going to talk about the basics of city services. I'm going to talk through with you bedrooms, the official meeting place, the tavern, the dining hall, and the temple. These are the most easy to build social structures, and I think it just pays off tremendously to have these implemented into your society as quick as possible. So, as you see there, I've taken the liberty to prepare a little bit of a mining job because I felt like we can let those guys do the chunking while we are talking. So, just a quick reminder, there's a playlist link down there below if you want to follow the series just from the beginning, because I do explain the entirety of the game in this series, not only the basic services system. So if you're looking for something like that, there you find it. Now, so what I did here, these small chambers are going to be the bedrooms. We're going to start first with the meeting area. So zones are found there, and the way to teach the game that here is the place where you want to do something specific, like a meeting area. The meeting area is very important insofar as it is the common place where your folks come to hang out and chill. The interesting thing there is, when you go back upstairs, your first meeting place, if you don't configure one, is the wagon. It functions 100% like a meeting place until you define a meeting place. Then the wagon loses its importance. The other thing that you can and should do eventually, once it's lost its freight, deconstruct the thing. This is important to have a meeting place out of two reasons. First up, the surface ain't a secure place on every biome. Sometimes you don't want your animals and dwarves hang there, because the meeting place is a spot where animals and dwarves hang out. That's very important, especially when you're playing evil biomes or other threatening areas. This can become a matter of life and death. Apart from that, the meeting area serves as a place to socialize. Your dwarves have needs to socialize, and due to that, when two of them meet in the same area, they'll start talking and do things. That's how you can see this. It pays off to have at least one of these. When your fortress grows bigger, it ain't a bad idea to have several of these. It's basically how to funnel people into a place. Next up on my list, bedrooms. Bedrooms are very, very important because they provide a big boost of happiness for everybody having one. So if you want to assign a bedroom, you see here, we can paint it over a bedroom like this, but it won't serve any functionality until we do install a door and a bed. These two items are mandatory to have the functionality of a bedroom available. If there's no door and no bed, they won't be using the bedroom as what it's thought for. If you ever want to build a bedroom on the surface, it'll also need a roof. That's also a must-have to install a bed somewhere, is a roof. I mean, down here we have roof everywhere, so you won't ever notice, but you will notice once you build it upstairs. Anyways, once these two things are installed, somebody will eventually just pick up the room for himself. Boom. There you had it live on camera. The room was good enough to be picked up, and our friend Ustuth here has declared it to be his room. I mean, quite fitting. He just lobbed all the items back there, so have you. We get to do this now every time, and here I fall to use closest material for the first time, so I just need to click once to have the door installed. That's a much easier way than select material after placement. This option here is cool if you want to install something specific, a certain color, a certain item and such, but yeah. Now, what's very, very important when declaring any zone or any room, you always have to include the walls. You could declare a bedroom that only includes the ground floor. This would diminish the value of this room though, because the dwarf will look at all the walls around him, add together how much value the room has, and depending on the value then they'll choose to have their verdict. This also means that decorating these rooms pays off. You can smooth the walls and the floor of a room just like that. You also can afterwards put engravings on the smoothened floors and walls, further increasing the value of these. These are commonplace techniques to increase the value of your real estate by a little bit. You can also put floor on the ground. Let's do it like that. Every block that you create can be turned into floor. Every boulder and log that you find can also be turned into floor. Once we do that, we add the value of the specific item to the ground and therefore to the room. So currently you don't see value of items. We're going to cover that later when we talk about trade. But as a general rule of thumb, stone, fluxstone, gemstone, / metal. That's the basic hierarchy of values here. And wood is at the same rung of the ladder as basic stone. Now then, so we will now talk next about dining rooms. So a dining room, here, dining hall, needs to have a door, otherwise it won't work. And as you see here, we can assign areas that aren't excavated yet, but we're going to do it like that. And the dining room requires also to have tables and chairs. A dining room can't function without these, so we're going to install 2 of these. So one interesting unwritten rule of Dwarf Fortress is that dwarves hate to share their table with somebody. So however you build in a way that only one chair is connected to one table. To give you a direct example, if you'd be putting the chair here, if both of these would be used at the same time, both dwarves would be pissed because they both won't have enough room to enjoy their flippin' meal. That's what it is. So, a dining hall can be assigned to a singular person, then you need to assign it there, or if you don't, it'll be just used as a general place of here be food consumed, you know? That's just how it works. Some people, like noblemen, will eventually require you to build a dining hall specifically for them, but before that, one of these rooms is all it takes for your dwarves to give them a chance to pick up their food, carry it over there, and enjoy it there. You can help yourself by making a tiny zone here in a corner. Go custom, go food, activate prepared meals. So with this little trick here, we have told our dwarves that we want a stack of prepared food on the square. I'll teach you in future episodes about tweaking logistics, a few tricks how you can fill these, but for today I don't want to go too technical. We're already going over so many parts. So there's a few things that we can add to that, but I don't want to right now. Another little thing that I want to add is if you want to have a flooring in your room, do it before you install the furniture. Because once the furniture is placed, you can't put a floor below it anymore. Just show you. Yeah. Below that bed, building present. You see it next to the building menu there. It's a no-no that we can't add the floor retrospectively. You would need to rip out the bed and then put it in the floor. So a little trick that I picked up from Dear Blind, who is an excellent guide for this build as well. Check him out. Is to just floor one part of the little room there, put the bed there, and call it a day until then. It's a very nice trick if you're just starting out and you don't have the materials available for the entire fortress yet. Just little aesthetic ideas. It's not that important at all. What is important is that you take care that your bedrooms have a door and a bed. These 2 things are the most important parts of it. After that, you can also add in chests and cabinets. These will be also used by the dwarves in the room to store their gear there. This makes the whole thing a little bit more orderly, and here the same logic applies. It's an item of value, and the dwarf living in the room will perceive it as something he or she owns. So that means fancy furniture also increases the value of the room. Mind you, you could put in a artifact bed, artifact cabinet, artifact chest, and the room would make people euphoric just by sleeping in there. This is the power that you have. You can keep it simple, you can keep it extremely over-decorated, just as you want to. The only thing that you need to emphasize and keep in mind here is that eventually, theoretically, you'll need something around between 100 and 200 rooms like this in your fort. Sometimes families move together, and sometimes you have units where more people live. But the worst case scenario will be that the dwarves will be picking their rooms all one by one. So it's a big project. You should really plan your city like that. You're playing a real city simulator of sorts here. So to not go crazy with your task, there's a little trick here called multi-painting. So I do this now after all the things have been installed, doors and beds. It's very important, otherwise it won't work. And I now do this, and you see 6 bedrooms created. When you do multi-painting, the game will check how it can segment the rooms orderly into bedrooms, and if all the prerequisites are met, as you can see, it automatically draws those bedrooms for you. And now, time by time, you folks will pick up these rooms. As an alternative, you can also set up a dormitory. Dormitories only require a door and beds in there. It's the same logic as here, and it'll offer your dwarves a place just to sleep. They will hate it to some degree, but they will hate it less than having to sleep on the ground. So it's a nice intermediate solution of sorts. Right, let's keep on track, and the next thing is the tavern. So taverns are a little bit of an odd nut, as you first set up a meeting zone, accept it, and go here to reconfigure it. Meeting zones can be reconfigured into different purposes. One of them is the tavern. The tavern needs a chest and a tavern keeper, and then it'll provide somebody who gives booze to people. You'll also need mugs or goblets to have the opportunity to drink there. But if you don't provide anything of that and just announce at a tavern, as you see there, people will already go there to socialize. The availability of drink and the tavern keeper is optional. That's very important to note. If you want to do this, install a chest and assign a tavern keeper by clicking here and picking up somebody. That's all you need to do. You can afterwards put up a little bit of a zone here, go into the food, and activate all plant drinks. This will convince your dwarven friends to get some booze down here. Okay, the last thing that I want to introduce to you are temples. The tavern, as a last side note, yeah, I should really do that, can be here configured to have only citizens welcomed or all visitors welcome. If you have this one, outside people will flock into your fortress, and that can be good or bad depending on your world. If you want to have it really safe, make it a citizens only tavern, and no outside forces will come swarming your place. No diplomacy will happen. That might be exactly what you want to have. Now, last thing now, temples. So temples are also installed in the meeting area thing, and as you see there, you can reconfigure them to be temples. Temples must be devoted to a specific deity, or they can be ecumenical. You can mouse over here to see what kind of, how many worshippers you have on the specific religion. If you don't have any deity represented in a bigger picture, this is a good starting place. You can enhance a temple by installing an offering place, an altar, and installing instruments and assigning performers. All of these things, again, are optional. Just assigning an area to be a shrine already gives your folks something to hang out, socialize, do spiritual work, and again, it boosts the happiness of people. Now, that's the basic services. With these things, you basically have already sort of a running fortress. If you have been following the previous episodes, you have basic farming, food production, you have automation, and you understand how to build things, you understand how to breach aquifers. Yeah, you already have the most annoying things down. From here on out, it becomes even more fun, believe me. Now, I hope this helped you out. Leave me your comments down below, leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Next episode will be providing some other interesting details. If you want to have any specific topic, ask away. And as I said in the intro, there's a playlist link down below leading to all the things here. You're more than welcome there. Many thanks to all the supporters of Ic0n Gaming, and a big thanks to you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed your stay. I hope I can get this wonderful game closer to you. And with that, I remain, and I hope you have a great day. See you there.